Hey, I'm glad to have you with us here today on Leadership to Go. I'm Richard Jolliffe, and I've been sharing about how to break the cycle of procrastination. Do you struggle with getting things done? Is it sometimes your to-do list becomes so long you don't know what to do, and all the struggles that can go with that? Well, in our last program, we shared a little bit about how that cycle of procrastination gets started in our life and what it does to us. Today, we're going to wrap this up talking about how to break that cycle. Hey, before we go on any further, can I invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel here, Next Level Leadership Development. And we're going to be here every Monday sharing with you leadership ideas, things that you can do, practical things, because I believe in just being practical, not just a lot of theory, and practical things that you can apply to your life to help you move to the next level. And that's really what Next Level Leadership Development is all about, just helping you get to where you need to go. And so that's what we do through this. So if you'd hit that subscribe, that'd be really great. Also, if you'd give us a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. And all that's listed right below this video. And so we invite you to do that. So we shared last time about how that procrastination works in our life. And we started talking about how to break that cycle of procrastination. And so the first thing we said was, listen, don't let it be respectable. Sometimes people like to make jokes about, oh, that's just me, and I always struggle with getting things done. And don't let it be respectable in your life. It's just not a good thing. It aggravates people, really. Nobody really appreciates that we don't get things done when we say that we're going to do them. And so don't allow it to be respectable in your life. What you tolerate, you will allow. What you tolerate in your life, what you continue to tolerate, will become a part of your makeup. And so just be careful about allowing this to become respectable. Second thing is, develop and follow a list of priorities. And I shared one of the most valuable tools that I use is my must-dos, my could-dos, and my should-dos. And so I shared about how that there are things that I just absolutely have to do. Those are high-priority things. Then I shared about how that there are things that I could do and there are some things that I should do. Usually the should do things are things that people think I ought to be doing, others think I ought to be doing. And the could do's are things that I really want to do, but I'm just not motivated. Maybe the must do's or the should do's are taking over. And so there are things that we could possibly do, but just they're kind of on the back burner. So how do we make sure that we're getting things done? We have to have a system of priorities. Now, there's all kinds of things that you can try to apply. There's the getting things done process. There's the Stephen Covey process, the A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, prioritizing our life. And all those are good things. Nothing wrong with any of them. I just like one of the questions I'll ask myself is whenever I'm facing a very daunting task list is, what must I do? What's required of me? What do I have to get done? What can no one else do that out of this list that I need to make sure that it gets done? The other thing that we can do too to break that cycle of procrastination is just remove reward until the job gets done. No rewards until we finish what we're supposed to do. Then when we get it done, then we can celebrate. But don't celebrate too soon. What you reward is what gets rewarded is what gets done. So if you want to break that cycle of procrastination, find ways to reward yourself that, hey, I got this done. Yay for me. Have a party, whatever you need to do, but do something that's going to give the reward when the job is done. Number 4, to break that cycle of procrastination is use things that, they call them tickler systems, things that will help remind you that you have things that you need to do. And that will help you get those things done. Things to jog your memory. A lot of folks have iPhones, or you have an Android phone, or you have a tablet, or you have a computer. All of them have something on there that will remind you of things that you need to do. So you need to let them remind you of things that you need to do. I think it's cool that, if you have at least with our iPhones, that I can just say, hey, Siri, set a reminder for. Siri sets a reminder for me, and so then I can get to what I need to get to. So keep those kinds of things active for yourself. Don't just try to remember everything. because it's really tough to remember all the things that we need to do. There's so many things going on, especially today in our lives. Our lives are very dynamic. They're not static. Things are it's complex, all these things that are happening. And so we need to make sure that we have some things in place to help remind us of what we need to do. Number 5, challenge your excuses. So we talked about this with tolerating. When you start making excuses, like everybody says, oh, I just am so busy. Okay, well, that's great. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got a lot. I talk to a lot of different, when I'm doing coaching sessions, and I'll say, how are you doing? First thing they'll always say, oh, I'm busy. Oh man, I'm just so busy, just working all the time. And well, listen, you got to challenge those excuses, because you do what you want to do, unless you're just like totally, in bondage that somebody's telling you how you have to live your life, what you have to do. And every second of every minute of every hour is just somebody's telling you that this is what you have to do. You have plenty of time to do the things that need to be done. Sometimes it's just that prioritizing that we need to do in our lives, but we can all accomplish so much more than what we think we can accomplish. And so you have to challenge those excuses. People say, well, I don't have time I'd love to listen to podcasts, but I just don't have time. Well, if you drive in a vehicle, you have time. You can listen to podcasts then. If you can use all kinds of opportunities for leadership development. My whole track of leadership development in my life, where it really took off, was at a time when my mom was diagnosed with cancer. She was going in for treatments. I was driving from Michigan to Akron, Ohio, to pick her up, to take her to the Cleveland Clinic, to do her chemotherapy treatments. So it was a 5-hour trip down, a 5-hour trip back, 10 hours in a vehicle. I used all of those to listen to as many John Maxwell tapes as I could, and all kinds of inspirational. Sometimes I'd be listening to them. I was coaching at the time basketball with the girls basketball program in our hometown. And I was going. But you can always find those ways to implement things. So you got to challenge your excuses. Don't just settle for something. I love what John Wooden said. It's one of my favorite quotes. Don't let what you can do interrupt what you can't do. So there are things you can do. Don't let things that you can't do stop you from doing the things you can do. You still can do things. And so find ways to implement that. Number 6, divide and conquer. Sometimes we just have to break things down into segments. I'm going to do this during this time. A lot of times that means is like you take the hard tasks. You'll hear that anytime you go to a class that's teaching about how to get things done. They'll say, pick the hard things first, then put the easier things later. There's a lot of validity to that. And so when you try to go to battle and to get things done during the day, pick those really hard tasks, the things you really don't want to do those things first, get them out of the way. It'll create less clutter in your mind anyways. All right, number 7, develop a routine. That routine is how you are developing yourself on a daily basis, how you are getting things accomplished. When do you look at your emails? When do you look, if you like to look at the news, when do you do that? What's the routines that you've established in your life? And so those are always important. Those are good things to do, is to have a routine. Routines are not bad things. They are great things, and they definitely help us to get things done. Number 8, set aside a place for your work. Make sure that you have a place where you do your work, even if it's just a file cabinet that you're keeping your work in, that you travel with. Make sure that you set aside a place for your work. It's tough when you need something and you can't find it, and you're spending more time. And it's proven fact in getting things done that finding things is one of the biggest time wasters people deal with. Keep all your stuff in one place. If it's a briefcase, keep it in a briefcase. If it's a file system, a portable file system, keep it with you, keep it in your vehicle, travel with it, bring it home, put it in wherever. If you work at not everybody has an office or home office they can work in, so they have to work at a kitchen table. Keep it where you can get it and pull it out and take it to the kitchen table with you. But always set aside a place for your work. This is where I do this at. This is the stuff that I need to be able to do that, and then get busy with it. Number 9. This is a really good one too. stay out of sight. If you're going to get things done, you're going to have to be in an environment where you're not bothered. Sometimes that means getting up a little earlier. Sometimes it means staying up a little later. But find ways that you can get aside to be able to get the things done that you need to do. Number 10, put curiosity on hold. I know sometimes, especially in our electronic age, stuff starts, you just start thinking, oh man, what was that? What was that? I was thinking I was gonna look at that web page. I was gonna look on Facebook. I was gonna get on Instagram. What did Twitter have to say today? What's going on in sports scores? Look, nobody has attention deficit. I deal with this all the time in my life, that you have to make yourself put curiosity on hold. Staying focused is so very important. So what I try to do is I segment my time where I'll say okay, so for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to really work hard on this and just stay really focused on this, and then I'll get it done, or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But set a timeline, a certain amount of time. This is what it's going to take to do it, and then get after it and get it done. Number 11, make sure you post your progress. Keep track of how you're doing. If whatever that is on your list of things, make sure that you're keeping that list straightened out so this is what I'm doing, this is what I've got done. These priorities have been fulfilled, taken care of. With paperwork and handling stuff, I always follow the 4D rule. One is I dump it. When you get mail anymore, most of it can be dumped because it's just advertisements, things that really you don't need. And about 90%, they say can just of the paperwork that you get can be dumped. 2, delegate it. Is it something you could or you should do? 3, delay it. I've got a black box. I got it right here. Here it is. It's got a cover on it. I put stuff in there that, it's not really stuff I got to get done right now, but stuff I'm going to be working on. Could be some message I'm working on, some keynote that I'm working on. I keep it in there so I don't have to look at it all the time. I delay it because it's not necessarily that I need it right now. I also create files in notes making sure that, and in pages, making sure that I'm always keeping track. I do, most of the web browsers that you use have a thing that talks about you can set it so that this is for reading later. Always keep those things because you're going to think about them later on. You're going to want them, and then you're going to be spending all your time looking for that stuff again, and you're going to be frustrated. So that's going to cause the delay again. So, if it's something that you felt like you needed at that moment, you can always delete it later. You can always throw it away later. Just put it someplace where you can get your hands on it right away. And then number 4, do it. Get it done. Whatever it is, it's got to get done. Follow it. If it's something that needs a decision made on it, make it now. If my administrator hands me a letter, says I need you to look over this, that's important. I stop right then, look at the letter, initial it or sign it or whatever needs to be done. I don't just put it in a stack of things to do. It's easy. Get it done and get it done as quick as you can. All right. Stick to a time limit. I talked about that. That's number 11, or number 13, excuse me. Stick to a time limit. Don't allow your time to just get so big that you're just totally freaking out. And that you're spending hours and hours and hours. There's no project really, you got to take breaks for creativity anyways. You need to disengage. So make sure though that you put time limits, stick to those time limits as you're trying to get stuff done. Number 14, don't gift wrap garbage. I know that sounds a little bit tough, but look, if it's junk, get rid of it. Don't try to make it look better. If it's something that's wasting your time, it's better just to throw it away. Get it out of your life. 15, focus on results when finished. What did I get done? What did I accomplish? And then, of course, number 16, reward yourself. Yay, you did it. You got it done. So, the cycle of procrastination can create, I think one of the things that it does for us is that it creates such incredible mental clutter. That your mind has got I got to get this done. What is it? You always feel like there's these looming things that you've got to get done, things that are just sitting out there. I think if you follow what we're talking about, and especially going back to just looking at, is this something I must do? Do I really need to do this? If I don't need to do it, then don't do it. Put it off, set it aside, get it in your should do's. I should do this, but right now I'm not able to do that. And reprioritize. During the pandemic, many of you, if you're unless you're watching this later on, you've probably heard about the pandemic. A lot of people have reshuffled their life. They've reshuffled their must do's, their should do's, and their could do's. And of course, a lot of the could do's got taken away from them. So people actually got to do things that they really felt like they should have been doing all along. They started exercising. They started eating better. They started watching series on Netflix that they hadn't been able to watch. I mean, a lot of different things were happening. And so there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. And it released that mental clutter of us always feeling like, I got to get this done. I got something I got to do. So I know as you're watching this, you probably have a ton of things that you're thinking about you've got to get done. Make sure to prioritize those things in your life. Think about how those things, what's really important for you to get done. And I really think if you'll do that, you'll be able to get it done now. Get her done. That's the thing. We want to get these things done, get them out of the way so we're moving forward into success. And then we celebrate. We reward ourselves. Hey, I did it. I got it finished. And that sense of accomplishment when we lay our head on our pillow at night and know that we accomplished that day's task is a very powerful, restful thing for all of us. So I hope this has been an encouragement to you about getting things done. Would you do me a favor as you've been watching this? Would you take time right now just to put on there, if you would, to subscribe to our videos, and it'll alert you then. It'll let you know. We're going to be doing these every Monday morning. They'll be on. And so I hope you'll take time to do that. And then also, if you just click on that and let us know that you liked what you heard here today. And we're grateful for the opportunity to be able to share that with you. All right. Thank you. We'll see you again next week. Have a great week. This will be a great week for you. You're going to get a lot of things done because you're going to apply what you heard.